I think it's so important for each of us to wake up each and every day. And I know this sounds cliche, but live life to the fullest, do everything we can to enjoy our life.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good afternoon, Jamie G. Previously episode 61, then we reconnected again for episode 1030. Today we reconnect for another conversation. That first conversation when we spoke, Jamie, was 3 years, 4 months, 5 days, 3 hours and 15 minutes ago. Ooh, we've gotten over the 3 years marker, Jamie. You're officially a best online friend.
That is amazing how much detail you brought into that. Amazing. The time just flies.
It does, doesn't it? I think within the online space, it's similar to dog years, I think. You know, it's like so many, but small amounts of time.
Yes.
Right? It feels that way because I think it's because of the potency of the conversations we had in a very limited space of time. It feels as though it just happened yesterday. How does it feel for you?
I was just going to say, I was thinking the same thing. It feels like we just met, but holy cow, 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, like I have gray hairs now.
I have gray beard now.
No, there's so much that you do, Jamie, but before we get into that, I think one of the things, like the person I was speaking to before, Tembi, she shared how one of the things she wanted to do when I spoke to her a couple of years ago was make an impact. And, you know, she did real estate and now it's evolved. But I believe that that is what really navigates who we are in this world. And if I had to say, I would say that you are an awesome individual when it comes to how personable you are. Would you agree with that?
Well, shucks. No. Well, yeah, I think so. I think a lot has to be said for, personalizing each and every conversation, be in the moment. I've turned on my do not disturb. I've turned off my phone as do not disturb. I think it's really important that when you're having a conversation with somebody to be there in the moment. Yeah, I fully believe that. Now, I will say my downside is my lack of follow-up is something yet to be desired, but it's being in the moment and really doing well and finding people that can help you overcome your weaknesses, because we're not strong in every single aspect of our lives, right? But if we can have great conversations like you have done thousands of times, I think it's really easy to be personable.
Yeah, well, my friend, I am not sure how easy it is to do it, but I am very sure that you've placed emphasis on it and intentionality. And I think that that has a ton of value in the online space because it's a type of leadership. It's a servant leadership, if I would say. Yeah.
Yes. 100% agree.
Yeah. Now, as we talked about support, right, there's the virtual assistant side of what you do, right, which is that support that we most of times need to pick up on our weaknesses. How is that going and has that evolved?
It's definitely evolved. It's thriving. It's awesome. It's fun. It keeps me on my toes. It's just a great way to it's a really fun way to interact, and having remote virtual assistants, it forces me to make sure my workflows, my systems, my processes are all in order and in place. And it's a constant evolution though. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Now you're helping others with that as well, right? There's the coaching block as well, right?
Yeah. So we help other companies stop the bottleneck in their business, basically, which is, I hate to say it, it's usually you, it's usually me, it's usually the business owner, right? So we help them grow their company by outsourcing some of the mundane tasks and details that they do on a daily basis so that they can focus on the high level things that they need to accomplish.
Now, where's the best place for someone that's listening to find out more about those services?
They can go to bottleneck.online to learn all about us, what we're doing here. But I highly encourage you to Google virtual assistant companies and really do your research. If you're just overwhelmed with the details and kind of found yourself in the weeds quite a bit, just do some research and really make a good educated decision before moving forward.
I appreciate you sharing that. Now, the bottleneck in your business, the bottleneck in your life, you found a way to have release. And I think it comes with the podcast, if I'm accurate.
The podcast, Culture Eats Strategy, I just absolutely love learning about how successful entrepreneurs or business owners or team leaders are out there leading with kindness. And I love hearing about different ways that they integrate a positive culture in order to achieve all the goals and objectives based on their strategies.
Culture Eats. What? Like, I'm not aware of this podcast, Jimmy.
Oh my gosh, Culture Eats Strategy. I'm a big fan of Peter Drucker, and I was originally turned on to him by my good friend Christopher Lockhead, who actually does the intro to that podcast. And what's so fun about it is I get to interview different business leaders from around the globe. Vern Harnish, Brian Scudamore, the list goes on. These people are incredible. And I get to kind of peer into what it is that they do in their companies to get everybody on board and just have a nice positive environment where they actually lead with kindness, but they get stuff done. And it's just really interesting to hear how these other companies structure their internal communication. It's just fascinating to me, and I love sharing that with the world.
That's wonderful. Now, we both understand the value of family. How has things evolved from a family perspective of life?
Oh my gosh, my girlfriend finally said yes, and we got married. So we are finally husband and wife.
Congratulations.
And life has 10x'd in that area. It's unbelievable. I cannot say enough about my beautiful Sarah. She means the world and is the world. She's, oh my gosh, blessing beyond all blessings for me.
I love that. No, definitely we can pull the statistics here. Is it different, like having a girlfriend that is in your life, right, compared to, tying the knot officially? Is it different?
I don't know. Maybe it just solidifies the relationship. I was never in doubt about it from the very first time I met her on the ice playing hockey. Her smile just swept me up. It was all done then, but it solidifies the relationship. But it's hard to say. I mean, we know we love each other, whether we were married or not. I don't see a future without her. So, but maybe it's just going through that ceremony. It kind of just said that it was a little exclamation point on our relationship that maybe was needed.
No, I appreciate you sharing that again with us. One of the conversations I like to open up now, which is a bit touchy, right, is the conversation of death. We're living life and, everything is in the plans and it feels as though we live forever. Are you having that conversation, both with Sarah and with yourself, the possibility that you may die or could die today or tomorrow?
That's a great question. I don't know if we've actually really dove into it. Of course, we've talked about it and we've taken some strides to move forward so that if something happens to me, she can take over in the company, and she's already working in the company. So she's familiarizing herself with it now to take over from that so that she's taken care of down the road. And of course, we have to do some financial planning and stuff like that. But, with me losing my little brother in 2005, it hit home firsthand. So I understand the impact that death has. And, that's why I think it's so important for each of us to wake up each and every day. And I know this sounds cliche, but live life to the fullest, do everything we can to enjoy our life. Just this morning, we have a little chalkboard in the kitchen, and Sarah, my wife, she goes and she trains somebody, personal trainer, on Tuesday and Thursday morning. So I wrote on the chalkboard, I hope you had an amazing morning training, and I love you very much, and make it a great day. Love your husband.
It's the little things, right?
It really is.
Interestingly enough, it is the little things. Well, Jimmy, I'll tell you, my friend, it's such of a grand opportunity to be able to call and say, hey, Jimmy, what are you doing? Are you doing what you said you would continue to do? And to hear that you have not given up, it is super inspirational. I think it even brings credibility in the online space to what you are doing and your intention. So I do appreciate that, my friend. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for you being you. And I'm a better person for knowing you. And I can't thank you enough for the gift of conversation you've given to the world. So hats off to you, man. You're amazing. And I only wish the best for you and your family.
I appreciate that. Ooh, the tears just flowed out of my eyes. Jimmy does that type of stuff. But Jimmy, again, Double J, my friend, it's such a great pleasure. Pleasure I treasure. Thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.